Welcome to Profitable Women, a podcast for the female business owner who wants to build a profitable and sustainable business that aligns with their life. We will talk about the money stories impacting your decisions, financial strategies to grow your profits, and how to embrace your female superpowers. I'm your host, Sheila Hansen, certified public accountant, business mentor, and certified coach. As a mom of three and business owner, I have spent the last 7 years supporting six-figure business owners make confident financial decisions while raising my babies. After making the hard decision to leave my job at a public accounting firm when I had my oldest, I'm now on a mission to empower women to build wealth without sacrificing themselves. If you find yourself avoiding conversations about money, are burnt out from working all the time, wonder where your cash goes, or want to learn how to pay yourself six figures, you're in the right place. Remember, the information in this podcast is general in nature and for educational purposes only. For specific financial advice for your situation, please consult a professional. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Profitable Women. I am so excited to invite one of my longtime clients, Courtney Otte, to the podcast. She is a mom of 3 young kids, a military wife, and the founder and principal designer of the Modern Hive Interior Design in Omaha, Nebraska. Her love for design began at an early age, but it was during her time working with a custom home builder that she fully realized the impact thoughtful, intentional design has on the way people live and feel in their homes. She started her design firm in 2012 and has built it over the course of time and now has multiple employees working for her. Her office moved out of her home into an actual building within the last couple of years, and she has turned the business into a luxury design firm, blending artistry with strategy to deliver truly turnkey experiences. Beyond her role as business owner and designer, she embraces the dynamic rhythm of motherhood and military life. We will definitely be having that conversation throughout today's episode. And rather than striving for a perfect work-life balance, she leans into the seasons of each role, knowing that one area requires more attention at times and the other steps back. This perspective allows her to remain grounded in what matters most, creating both a meaningful family life and a business that transforms the way people experience home. Courtney, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Sheila. That was a mouthful, but hopefully that encapsulated well what I do and what I'm all about. Thank you for sharing with the audience.
Yeah, I love this because I have gotten to see you grow in all of these ways over... Do you even remember how long we've been working together? I should have looked it up for sure.
I feel like it was like 2017, maybe.
Yeah, it was before we had all of the kids combined between us that we have. I know that.
We've been on a journey together, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think we each had just one at the time, and we've been through the journey of adding 2 more kids to each of our families throughout the time that we've worked together. Yeah, that is a common piece that we have in the story. And I know yours is complicated even more so by your husband being in the military and having gone through deployment periods where he is gone for stretches of multiple months where you are managing both. So tell me a little bit about that and what has changed in kind of your approach. Like I mentioned in the bio, you say that you know there's seasons to things, but tell me more about that for you in the business.
Well, I don't think I always knew that.
Now you do, yeah.
Yeah, I think when we started working out together, our businesses working together, I was slowly learning that, right? I was realizing, he's going to be gone. I've got these kids. What am I going to do? I've never probably been a super great delegator in the past, but over the course of time of working through, some financial metrics with you and just developing my team, I've become a lot better at it. And, his first deployment was approaching. Well, his first deployment with kids, I should say, was approaching. And I'm sitting there just thinking, yeah, there's no way I can really do this the way I've been doing it in the past. Like, I can't do everything. I need to develop the team. It's time to grow. It's time to look at adding some W-2 employees to the payroll. And now his most recent deployment was just only for a couple of months this last January. And it was for school. So he was still stateside. We were able to see him. So that helped. But I think I just kind of embraced the fact that, okay, now I've built the team. I'm able to, put forth the effort where I need to. But if I don't get to everything, it's okay. And I know that the team is going to support me and stand behind me.
Yeah. And I think that is a good parallel too to a lot of what we've been working through in your business from the financial perspective as well, because there is a seasonality to your business. The types of design projects that you work on are not a 1 month and it's done kind of project. It is
Months to a year.
6 months to 12 months of a project. And so it took a little bit of work for us to really get to a place with you to be able to lean on that financial data and really visually be able to see this is the cycle that we go through, right? So when we're in the highs, we know it's because we've signed on some big projects that are going to last for the next couple of months. When we're in the lower periods where maybe cash isn't coming in like it was the previous couple months, that's because we're wrapping up these projects or we're in, the meat of things. And so we've had a lot of those conversations back and forth of that cycle.
And sometimes you still have to remind me, but I think I've got my brain wrapped around it now.
We're getting there, yeah. Of that cycle of really just being able to look at it from a longer term perspective and having those metrics, if you will, that help for you to visually see we're on track for the year. Like, here's my big goal for the year. And every month is not going to be that goal divided by 12.
Yep.
But when we look at it from quarterly perspective or project perspective, we know what it takes to get to that big goal and that you're on track, or that, yes, in fact, things maybe are slow right now, or whatever the story that we're coming up with, then we can come back to the financial metrics and say that, well, yes, that's in fact true, or no, that's just how it feels.
Yeah. And like, to your point, though, it's good to be busy all the time. It's good to have projects coming and rolling in and always be working on something. But I have learned over time to just kind of embrace those periods of slow, because then it allows me and my team to kind of like step back into the business and work on the business, not just on the projects. Because without that, we wouldn't have time for improvement, developing something out, a program or whatever it is, new service, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because especially when you're in a creative industry, to keep those creative juices flowing, to keep that mind in that state, you can't function there all of the time. You do have to have that slower time. So then when it is, new project coming in, you have the ideas and the creativity for what that project entails. So I think it really is just a testament to you've approached that from the deployment standpoint and with the kids and handling that from your husband being gone to also within your business, knowing that those seasons come and go.
Right. Yeah.
And I know from my side, it has been really fun to get to watch you practice and learn those delegation skills. Because in a lot of ways, I can relate to the struggles of delegating and all of that. And so in our conversations, I could always see the struggle of like letting go of that. But as you practice it in smaller ways, then it becomes easier.
Right.
And you've made some big strides.
I'm kind of obsessed with it now.
Yeah. Especially in this last 12 to 24 months, bringing on some online business manager roles, another designer to your team. You're really embracing kind of that delegation of the areas that
Yeah.
you found yourself getting bogged down by.
Right. I mean, and now we brought on like a fractional business development. She's doing a bunch of networking for me. And I've also realized I'm just not great at networking. I like to refer to myself as an ambivert, extroverted when I need to be, but like true to myself, more introverted. So I don't thrive in a networking setting. So I love that I have her for that and that I've been able to just like let that off my plate and allow her to run with it.
Yeah. What has been over time, kind of as you've shifted and changed your business, what has been something that you have learned along the way or that you started embracing as you've kind of grown as a business owner?
I mean, I think it's a lot of what we've already talked about, quite honestly. You have to develop out the systems. You have to have those in place, right? And they're always evolving. And so that's just the nature of the beast. But really just leaning on your team and not just making it all about yourself. Because we have an awesome work culture here, I like to think. We're really flexible, with everyone who works here. And I just think that that's really important to create that culture and then delegate the tasks that you're not great at or you don't have time for anymore. And then I think when you're able to do that, at least from my point of view, I'm able to then step back and kind of just like look at the business. I'm not just always like trying to work on a design or something like that. I'm like, okay, how can I improve this other system or how can I market this other thing that I've never, ever, ever had time to do because I've always just been in the weeds. I truly, really think that that's the biggest thing that I've learned over the past probably 2 years. I've really leaned into it and have started to step into that role of not just Courtney as a designer, but also CEO of the business.
Yeah. And with the delegation, I think the other piece that you've embraced is knowing when to say no to things.
That has been so hard. You're so right. I know you don't do that.
So Courtney and I have monthly calls, and we've had lots and lots of calls around that topic of just knowing what to focus on because it, from a time and energy standpoint, is what rewards you the most and is able to move the business in the direction that you're really wanting to go. So at first it was getting through scarcity mindset of we
Yeah.
need to say yes to
Mhm.
everybody that wants us to design anything for them.
I'm not gonna lie, Sheila. I just got a lead this week, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? No. I know the answer should be no, and I sat on it for like a day, and it took me the whole day to like, okay, I know that this is probably not right, even though I really do want to help.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of conversations about where the time and energy should be focused or could be focused on. Then again, along with practicing the delegation muscle, it's practicing the saying no to projects that you absolutely could do, you're qualified to do, but that takes you and your attention away from the things that you really want to be doing. And so finding that balance for you of how do we keep moving things forward? How do we have clients,
Right.
but of the projects that are really aligned with where your business is today?
So true. And I think it goes back to the point we were just making in terms of, I can now step back and look at the business and, where I want to take it. I spent a significant amount of time over this past year really curating and developing our ideal avatar and client and market. And so now when those leads come through, I know.
You know when they show up.
Yeah.
And it's becoming easier then to identify. Like you said, it took you a day to realize that project you needed to say no to, but be able to identify those that aren't in alignment with where you and your team are at today. Let's pause the content of the episode to talk about taxes for a minute, because they're not just a once-a-year thing. They're one piece of the financial pie, but not the whole thing. When you're running a business, waiting until March or April to think about taxes is like waiting until harvest season to start planting seeds. You need regular financial conversations, you need up-to-date financial data, and you need a strategy that supports all the moving parts: your income, your expenses, your growth, and yes, your taxes too. So here's your reminder. Don't wait until tax season to find your accountant. Build that relationship now, before the holidays and year-end rush, so you can fully take advantage of their expertise and secure your spot on their calendar. At Sheila Hansen LLC, we're currently accepting new business clients through our monthly support packages. That means you don't just get help at tax time, you get support all year long. We'll keep your numbers organized, your strategy aligned, and your peace of mind intact. You can learn more and apply at hansenllc.net, because your finances deserve attention year-round, not just in April. Now back to the episode. So you've been in business now since 2012, so over 13 years. How do you think your business has changed in that? And have there been key moments in those years that you're like, looking back, this was kind of a big turning point for my business?
Yeah. I was in an interview yesterday with my cousin's daughter who's at UNO, and she's writing this report for her entrepreneurial class. So this question just came up. And like looking back at where I started, I was 22 when I started my business. And so that's like insanely young to start a business. Coming right out of college, not really knowing anything about the world and business and like my services and my industry. So like back then I would take anything and everything. And over time, it is a lot of effort no matter what. No matter what type of project you're doing, big or small, it's always going to be a lot of effort to just make sure it's a seamless experience for the client. And over time, as I would do these projects, I would learn along the way, slowly but surely. And then I would say like the most pivotal moment that really kind of trajectory of our business to where it is today, I would say around COVID.
Yeah.
I think it changed a lot for a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
People were obviously, working from home. They were spending a lot more time at home. And the phones were like ringing off the hook for us. Our industry was insanely busy. I think I was pregnant with my second child, and I was like, I can't. So I was a couple months from delivering my child. I had started this like nice big ideal project, and it was like my very first ideal project that I've ever worked on. And I'm like, okay, it's time to hire a W-2 designer who can help me like carry this project through to completion. And so I remember like standing there with an intern at the time, about to give birth. We got our measurements done. I had already made that hire, but she didn't start until after the birth. So we took a little bit of a pause on that project. Then when we came back full force, started knocking it out of the park, designing this beautiful house from remodel to furniture, really the whole thing. It was a turnkey project for us. And we got about like halfway through, almost to the procurement phase. And then my husband realized he's going to be deployed. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have this like baby, second child, this big project, it's underway. And so at that point in time, I'm like, you know what? We need an office manager. And that's when we hired for our office manager position. And so I think by having that team, even though we didn't really know what we were doing exactly at that point in time, we were still working through the processes and workflows and how we wanted it to all look and feel. I think it allowed me to see like, hey, these big, beautiful projects that I love working on, that I'm so passionate about, they're out there. And with the right team members in place, we can make this successful and give our clients an amazing experience while we're at it.
Yeah. While you can also still be a mom and have time for family and all of that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so then how was having your third kid an experience different than that second kiddo, with having some of that team already in place then?
At that time, we were about to close on the building that we're in today. I had been searching for about 2 years, had some things fall through, and then finally found our dream location. And I actually gave birth to my third child on the day we closed this building. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
So it's always just been kind of this wild roller coaster, but like in a good way. It's always going in the right direction. The roller coaster is never going in the wrong direction. It was like incredibly different because, I didn't really take a long maternity leave. As business owner women, we don't do that. We probably should. But I will say I felt way more chill and relaxed because we had a lot of those kinks worked out. We started to develop these processes and we had this building that we were going to be building out and moving into shortly after. So I actually spent most of that maternity leave honing into how I wanted the building to look and designing it for myself. So that was kind of fun, like in between feeding.
Getting to do a project for you, really, rather
Yep.
than a client. I think as women who own businesses, and if it is all happening while you're having babies, I think it's just part of, like you said, roller coaster, but it's just part of it. I know for my own business, there are very pivotal, like, this is what was changing and happening in my business because I was also giving birth to one of my kiddos at around that time. And then a couple of years later, here's what changed again in my business because I added another member to the family. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty natural for us to have those milestones in both business and our personal family life coincide.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beauty of getting to be a business owner as a mother, of getting to adapt it and change it into, again, those seasons of life.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you and I are both at a point where our kiddos aren't the newborn phase,
So happy about that.
the younger ones aren't quite like to the full independent phase yet either. But we just get a little more breathing room. We get a little more breathing room to kind of focus or change and give that attention back to the business in ways that when you're in the
Yeah.
depth of newborn.
Kind of like what you said in the intro, it's like the season, right? So
Yeah.
when obviously you're caring for newborn, your heart and soul like is still in the business, but it can't be fully emerged, right?
Right.
So you just kind of have to accept that.
And I think it's so beautiful that like that is the moments where you really did lean in and get help
Yeah.
and ask for that specific help and delegation of certain tasks
Mhm.
within things so that maybe if your leave wasn't that long, it could still be what it was for
Yeah.
the time. What would you say now that your business has, made it 13 years? What would you say to that newer business owner that maybe is just right out of college that's starting out from the place that you are now? If you could like go back and tell yourself
Yeah.
that the thing that you like stressed about that now like you can go back and say, but it worked out.
I think I would say two things. One is done is better than perfect. Like, yes, strive for an excellent client experience, right? But if you're going to sit there and stress over it being perfect, you're never going to get it done. So just launch and make tweaks along the way. The other thing I would say is lean into educating yourself. Like, don't ever let that stop. Find a mentor, find Facebook groups that are your industry related, that where you can have conversations with other business owners in the same profession line as you. Read books, join networking groups specific to your industry, and just like never stop asking questions.
I love that. I think business ownership can be a lonely place at times.
Yeah.
And so it is really important to have that network of people that understand it from the place that you are, right? Not everybody gets trying to balance the both, the struggle to unplug at times, or setting the boundary, or knowing that there is that possibility of something bigger for you and that you can get there, but just the path that it takes of learning to say no or learning to delegate along the way. Not everybody gets that. And so it is really important to be able to surround yourself with those who think in that same way or are dealing with those same struggles, to know that you're not alone in them. Because for sure, as a business owner, whatever you're feeling, you are not alone. I know that. I've had
Yeah.
enough conversations with others that all of those struggles others have faced at times.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a saying out there. It's like you're a combination of the three people you hang out with most, right? So I'm like, okay, myself, I hang out with myself in my office all the time. My dog, my husband, who's not in the business, and it's like, oh, I gotta branch out here. Like, I love my dog, I love my husband, but we gotta find my people.
Okay, so I just did a little mini series on my own taking a break from the business. I know you also took a vacation. I mean, we've talked about you were working through deployment seasons where your husband was gone, but you also took a vacation in your business not very long ago. So share a little bit about that experience for you. Like, were you able to unplug? What did that look like? What was like the preparation leading up to that time?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. So I've actually taken, so you're talking about Spain that I went on a 10-day Spain trip in May.
Yep.
And previous to that, I've actually gone to Alaska twice for like 8 days in the summer. And the location that we go to is completely remote. So there's no cell service, no email. So I think doing those Alaska trips had helped prepare me because I'm like, okay, I've done it in the past with no cell service, no email connection. Like things didn't blow up.
Right?
Um, but I honestly think at the time I took those trips, we had already developed our team culture and just everyone was aware of what they should be doing and where we were at with projects and what we were supposed to be working on. So obviously, like notify your clients, hey, I'm going to be gone, which you did too. Like if you have any issues, reach out to this person. But I literally went and had no worries. I mean, when I was in Spain, I had connection to email, obviously. So I was like clearing through my email, but I also know my office manager, Jill, like would go in there on a daily basis and like just kind of clear the junk. So they're like, don't look at your phone, don't do it. But of course I did. Yeah, fully disconnect unless I'm forced to, like in Alaska. But yeah, I think just all the hard work that we've done in the past to build out, like we use a software management program called ClickUp, which is like a Monday.com or, some of those other similar platforms. And so all of our projects just have the task of like, here's what you do next and next and next. And so it's like our designers are involved in all the projects. The clients know who they are. So it's really not a problem to leave.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's one of those that we almost just have to practice. And if anything, show our nervous system that
Yeah.
things won't blow up when we're gone, right? Like that's the story we want to tell ourselves of we're needed here, right? Like it's not going to operate without us. But when we give ourselves that chance to pause or take a break and really see that we've built it, it's flowing, it's working, it gives us a chance to then come back and say, okay, what's next as far as maybe what did come up that would need my attention during that time that we could focus on
Yeah.
building the new training or process around to keep that structure of stepping out available.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's true also whenever we're doing like a project debrief. We'll look back on, what can we do different? What didn't work well? So we've really been trying to lean into that. And I think that just all of it, just a combination of all of it results in me being able to step away on occasion. I don't do it very often, but I'm told I should go on more trips.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have enjoyed this conversation. I have enjoyed working with you for so many years now and getting to watch your business change and grow over time and supporting you through that. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with those changes and being a mother and a military wife, as well as a business owner who not only is in it for you, but for your team now and growing the community around you. So thank you so much for this conversation. If anyone is wanting to find you or follow you, where can they do so?
I would highly recommend you check out our Instagram page. I have a fractional social media manager who manages all of that for me. I used to do that on my own, but it's at the Modern Hive on Instagram. Facebook, we're on there too. We're not on TikTok, but check out Instagram or our website at themodernhive.com.
Yeah, we will post all those links in the show notes for you. And I love watching Courtney's Instagram. They do a really good job at showcasing their design and expertise, but also bringing in the personality of their team into the page. So it's not that you just get to see, really beautiful homes and spaces, but you also get to know Courtney and her team through their social media. So I love that about your Instagram page. But thank you so much for this conversation. And Listeners, we will have another episode for you next week.
Thanks so much, Sheila. It was great to be on.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Profitable Women. Make sure you never miss an episode by hitting the follow button in your favorite podcast player. And things are always easier when you talk about them with a friend, so be sure to share this episode with them. If you're looking for more ways to grow your financial confidence, head to the show notes for a link to subscribe to our weekly email. Until next time.